test, sync, test, sync, test, sync, test, sync, test. Hi, I'm Miss Bunny, and welcome to the personality type test. This is, from what I've heard, this is entirely theoretical, so it may not be entirely accurate, but I thought it was interesting. I saw somebody else taking this test on YouTube, and I thought, you know, this might be interesting to do on my channel, and I wasn't sure about it until it got to the fictional characters segment, and I thought, oh no, it's not a question anymore. I have to do this on my channel. Okay, so here we go. We're going to take the test. And some of this stuff might not be entirely accurate to me because I don't quite understand all the questions. But I'm going to do my best. So, first question. You are almost never late to your appointments. That's a big yes. I hate being late. Say anything. What are you doing, kitty? I hate being late. I absolutely hate it. I mean, there are the occasions where I am late, but it stresses me out every fucking second that I'm late. You like to be engaged in active and fast-paced job. No. I do not do fast-paced. My brain just doesn't work that way. You enjoy having a wide circle of acquaintances. I'm gonna go with a small no on that. I mean, it is nice to have a lot of friends. I mean, I made a lot of friends on like MystBunny and stuff. Just really good people, really nice, really sweet and friendly, and I just couldn't be happier having those kinds of friends. But as a general rule, you know, I pretty much socialize with a small group. I mean, I like having a lot of watchers. I like talking to them. I like interacting with everybody. But as a general rule, I mainly only, like, really closely interact with a few of them. You feel involved when watching TV soaps. If it means soap operas, then no, I don't watch soap operas. But I'm gonna assume it means TV in general, like dramas and shit. Let's see. And in that case, do I feel involved? What does it mean by involved? This is where this is going to get me, because I don't know what it means by involved. Does it mean emotionally involved, or does it mean just I'm interested? Like I'm fixated on it. I don't know, because I can be fixated on something without being emotionally involved. So I'm going to say it's uncertain on that one. You're usually the first to react to a sudden event, the telephone ringing, or unexpected question. And again, I'm not sure what it means by this. What does it mean by reacting? Does it mean I'm the first to pick up the phone? Because if I get a call and I don't know who it's from, I tend not to answer. An unexpected question. I mean, I think I'm slow to react, but I don't know. I'm going to go uncertain on that one. You feel that the world is founded by compassion. Founded on compassion. That's not going to be a yes. Just, is it going to be a big no or a small no? Let's see. I feel people are just, like, intensely selfish on a large scale. And it's so easy to manipulate people into acting against compassion. That's... But I mean... But that's on a larger scale. That's like in the grand scheme of things. But on a smaller scale, you know, one-to-one, when it comes to people generally interacting with each other, I'm gonna go a small no, because, you know, on a smaller scale, I think people are generally compassionate towards other people. But on a large scale, absolutely not. You think that everything in the world is relative, and I don't know what it means by this. Let's see. I'm assuming it means like, jeez. I'm assuming it means that, hell. I don't even know how I can explain this. How to explain my line of thinking here. Is thinking that everything in the world is relative. I'm gonna go a small yes. I think it means like what everything can be compared to something else, rather than having clear, jeez, I have no idea. I'm gonna stick with a small yes, because I think that's... my current line of thinking is yes. Strict observation of the established rules is likely to prevent attaining a good outcome. I'm gonna do... okay, that's gonna be a yes. Let's see, I'm gonna go a small yes. Because, you know, there are good rules and there are bad rules. And I find a lot of people sometimes will follow certain rules and when they have no idea... like, I find that the reasons people have for following rules is not necessarily the reason the rule was established. So, I mean, that changes with, so that changes over time. Let's see, is it difficult to get me excited? Small yes. Small yes. I don't typically get excited about anything. I mean, more than I'm letting on here, but generally no. I don't tend to get excited about things. It has to be big. It has to be big to get me excited. When making a decision, you rely more on your feelings than analysis of the situation. That's a... okay, my gut instinct here is to say a big no. But... well, here I am analyzing the situation. I didn't even realize. Let's see. My feelings is a big no, but, analyzing this, let's see. I'm gonna go a small no. Because, I do have a tendency to get emotional and to make decisions based on those emotions. So, most of the time, I analyze and I consider and I think and I mull over before I make any decision. But on occasion, like, I have meltdowns. And whenever I'm having a meltdown, you know, my decisions are based entirely on how do I stop this feeling. This has to stop. I need to stop this feeling. I need to do everything I can to stop this feeling. So there's that. So maybe that's enough to prevent me from, maybe that's enough to say that it shouldn't be a big no. Hmm. Let's see. You often think about humankind and its destiny. I'm gonna go a small yes. Oh, this is really, like, you often think of humankind and its destiny. I try not to. I try not to, because those thoughts never lead anywhere good. But more often than I would like, yes. You believe the best decision is one that can be easily changed. Let's see, that depends on the decision. That depends on the decision to be made. I know I don't like decisions that can't be changed. But does that mean it's the best decision? Hmm. Believe the best decision is one which can easily be changed. I'm trying to think of an example. Jeez. Because, I mean, if it's a decision that can't be easily changed, chances are it's either going to be a really good decision or it's going to haunt me for a long time. I don't know. I'm going to say uncertain on that. You often ponder the root cause of phenomena and things. Phenomena sounds kind of... Phenomena... I need to look up the definition of that. Let me look up the definition of phenomena. Blah, 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 blah. Come on now, fingers. Let's look that up. Come on now. Google. Work with me here. Let's see. Phenomenon. A fact or situation that is observed to exist or happen, especially one whose cause or explanation is in question. A remarkable person, thing, or event. Okay. When I saw phenomenon, I'm thinking phenom, as in the Undertaker, as in paranormal, and I know that's not right. So, let's see. Let's see. So, an extraordinary phenomenon. I'm gonna say a big yes. Yeah, if something happens that seems unusual to me, I always try to figure out, like, why did this, what caused this? Why, what can this be traced back to? So yeah, that's a big yes. You prefer to act immediately rather than speculate about various options. That's a no. Let's see. No, I like my options. I really like my options. So yeah, that's gonna be a big no, because I don't like to act without thinking. I really don't like to do that. You trust reason rather than feelings. Somebody put this... the person I was watching on YouTube put this in an interesting way, that your feelings can sometimes tell you things that reason would not. So there's that. But as a general rule, I mean, even when I'm compelled to do things from my feelings, I do believe it's always good to analyze those feelings and figure out where they're coming from, rather than act on them instantly. Because if I act, well, this isn't about acting though. This is about trusting. So that's going to be a big yes. I trust reason over feelings. You're inclined to rely more on improvisation than on prior planning. That's going to be a no. No, I pretty much like to plan out everything I do. Not in an organized way, not like on paper, like a schedule or something. It's all in my head. But nevertheless, I do plan it out. I do plan out my day. I plan out how things are gonna, how the day is going to progress. And when it deviates from that, I get a little stressed. Whenever I'm making a trip, intensive planning. Whenever I'm meeting up with someone, intensive planning. So, let's see, what are some situations, though, where improvisation is better, though? Because there are some times when, well, let's see. Inclined to rely more on it. I'm not entirely confident that I never rely on improvisation. So I'm gonna go with a small no on that. You spend your leisure time actively socializing with a group of people, attending parties, shopping, etc. No, I do not. My leisure time is usually spent by myself. That's not to say I don't like socializing. That's not to say I don't socialize. It's not to say I don't like socializing. It's just that generally I'm a bit of a loner. I'm a bit of a recluse. That does lead to loneliness, though, and you know, not uncommon for me to want to reach out to somebody, you know. But most of the time I'm, by myself, playing games. Got my dog and my cat to keep me company. This, and I like the people I like the people I interact with, and I love interacting with them. I don't like to overdo it, but I do like to interact with them. You usually plan your actions in advance. Didn't we already have this? But that's a big yes. Your actions are frequently influenced by your emotions. Again, that's going to be a small no. That's going to be a small no because it used to be more so. That used to be a yes. When I was younger, most of my actions were influenced by my emotions. But as I got older and realized how much control my emotions had over my actions, then I started, you know, and it wasn't that I was always, that would have been a small yes when I was younger, because I did prefer to think things through. I did prefer to, burrow past those emotions and see, and, you know, come up with a more, what's the word I'm looking for? A more logical action, but I didn't actually realize at the time how much control my emotions had over my actions. Now that I do realize it, I do tend to be a bit more analytical. I tend to think things through. If I have a strong emotion towards something, you know, there are of course times where I will immediately act on it. Uh, but generally, I like to stop and think. Are my emotions betraying me here? Am I not? Is there a more logical decision I can make? Um, you know, so that's going to be a small no. But, you know, I do have meltdowns, and often my meltdowns cause me to act purely on my emotions. Um, and that's despite my best efforts, too, because when I'm having a meltdown, I still try to be logical. I still try to analyze, but it just... those meltdowns have a way of just disrupting that entirely. Let's see. You're a person somewhat reserved and distant in communication. Yes. Big yes. Um... Uh... I've met a lot of people who said they like me because I'm quiet. Because when I'm in person, I tend to be quiet. Because, you know, I'm not very good with communication. I'm not, especially in person. That is extremely difficult for me. Is you know, communicating, putting my thoughts into words. I know I'm an introvert. A lot of that thought goes. There's a lot of internal thought that goes into everything I say, which slows down communication. So I tend to not communicate unless it's worth spending some time processing what I'm about to say. Whenever I get into a situation where I have to talk fast, whenever I have to think fast and talk fast, that's extremely stressful for me. And it often ends up with me saying things that I don't mean. It often ends up with me saying things I don't mean, and, you know, sometimes I hurt somebody's feelings, and I don't intend to, and then I have to explain, no, that's not what I meant. I wasn't... that's, my... I know what I was trying to say, and that wasn't it. And, you know, usually by that time it's too late. People have already been hurt. Or people have already made up their minds about what they thought I was trying to say. It's really stressful. You know how to put every minute of your time to good purpose. That's a no. It's a small no. Or a big no. Putting every minute of my time... well, not every minute, for sure. Okay, so that's a big no. You often contemplate the complexity of life. Yes. The complexity of life... good God, is it complex. Oh, man. As analytical as I am, I still can't figure this shit out. But not for lack of trying. So, yes. After prolonged socializing, you feel you need to get away and be alone. Big yes. Big yes. Whenever I have a social battery, you know, and whenever it's full, whenever it's high, I love to socialize. I love to talk to people. I love to interact with my friends, with people I'm comfortable with. But after a while, that social battery starts to drain, and I just need to stop. I just need to stop, be by myself, recharge, and then go again later, usually much later. You often do jobs in a hurry. No. Well, you know, uh, it's not that I don't want to do jobs in a hurry, it's that I can't do jobs in a hurry. Like, I don't like getting into a rhythm. I don't like getting into a routine, a rhythm, for doing a job. Well, hang on. Again, that is not what I meant to say. Hold on. Forget I said that. Okay, let me start over. You often do jobs in a hurry. Um, there are occasions where I've got something I need to do, and I just want to do it and get it over with. So I can move on to better things. But generally, I tend to take my time. Well, hang on. I don't like to take too long doing something. I don't like to take too long doing a chore. I'm gonna go with a small yes on that. You easily see the general principle behind specific occurrences. Let's see, the general principle behind specific occurrences. What does that mean? I'm inclined to say yes. It would definitely not be a big yes. I'm gravitating towards uncertain here, because I'm not sure what this means. Yeah, I'm gonna go with uncertain. You frequently and easily express your feelings and emotions. I do not. Well, I don't know. Frequently, yes. Easily, no. If it were... I tend to avoid it whenever possible, but I often feel like I have no other choice, that I have to explain my feelings, because otherwise... because they barely make sense to me. So I often feel like I have to talk it out to sort of explain why I feel the way I feel. I'm gonna go with a no, because it's certainly not easy for me to express my feelings. And I do avoid it I do avoid it on most of the time. But I do feel it's necessary. You find it difficult to speak loudly. Yes. That's a small yes. You get bored if you have to read theoretical books. I'm gonna go with a yes on that. Purely because I don't read books. It's not that I don't want to, and I have read books. I have read books on occasion. Let's see, web pages on a general on an analytical, God, what am I trying to say here? Fuck. I'm just gonna leave it at small yes and move on. You tend to sympathize with other people. Yes. That is definitely a yes. The only question is, large scale or small scale? On a small scale, okay, I'm just trying to decide whether this is a big yes or a small yes. It's not going to be an uncertain. I do sympathize with other people. On a large, I think on a large scale, I sympathize with people more so than most people do. Uh, Whenever there's like a group of people committed to, whenever there's a group of people committed to a purpose, committed to an ideal, whether that ideal is good or bad, I tend to, see where they're coming from. Um, I often, whether I agree with them or not, I often see where they're coming from. Um, and that, that includes the most heinous and despicable of people. I still, I'm still compelled to play devil's advocate for some of them. You know? So yeah, definitely. You value justice higher than mercy. That's a no. I mean, sometimes, yeah, justice and mercy are pretty much the same thing. But I'm assuming this means, like, would I prefer someone be punished harshly, for a crime, rather than be let off easy? Uh, you know, uh, especially on a larger scale, I value taking things case by case. Um, but uh, I don't agree with revenge. Like, I mean, I do enjoy the occasional art/pro revenge story, but, I mean, sometimes, I feel that's warranted, but as a general rule, I don't agree with getting even. I think that's what this is kind of alluding to. I don't agree with getting even. I don't agree with I don't agree with punishing someone, because most of the time, because you don't know all the factors that are involved. You don't know what's going on in this person's head. You don't know you don't know how their brain functions. You don't, uh, you gotta at least try to understand them. You know? You gotta at least try to understand what led to to a crime being committed. You've got to sympathize. You've got to try to understand. You've got to try to figure it out before you start contemplating justice. So that's a no. That's a big no. You rapidly get involved in the social life of a new workplace. No, absolutely not. It takes me a while. It takes me a long time. I have to, I have to feel comfortable with the people. Like, I do, I tend to feel it out a little bit. I want to be comfortable. I want to feel comfortable with the people I'm interacting with. When it comes to sexual things, though, I tend to jump right in, you know. Um, The more people you speak to, the better you feel. No. No. Certainly not the more people I speak to, but there are certain people that I do feel better talking to, you know? So that's gonna be a no. Uh, and you know, when I'm trying to figure out a feeling that I have, and when I'm trying to, sort of get a sense of where I'm coming from, I like to talk it out with, more than one person. But as a general rule, no. You tend to rely on your experience rather than on theoretical alternatives. Oh, that's a tough one. Let's see. I'm inclined to say yes. Uh, I do tend to go with what makes me, what I feel comfortable with. Like, I'm gonna do a small yes on that. Although, that's not to say I don't mix it up every now and then. Like, sometimes, you know, my experience can only carry me so far. And then I'm like, there's gotta be a better way, you know? 34. As a rule, you proceed only when you have a clear and detailed plan. That's gonna be a yes. Again, the plan is in my head. I don't schedule things, I don't write it down, but, you know, I tend to overthink. So yeah. That's gonna be a yes. It's gonna be a small yes or a big yes, though. I'm gonna make it a small yes. You easily emphasize with the concerns of other people. That's always on my mind. Uh, I mean, when I'm alone, no. uh, there are times when I don't want to empathize with other people, uh, but I do it anyway, you know, automatically. So that's gonna be a yes. When I'm at odds with someone, like when somebody does something that I don't like, when somebody treats me in a way that I don't like, that empathy kind of fades a bit. Maybe a lot. But, you know, even if somebody's hurt me, I tend to not be eager to hurt them back. So I'm gonna say yes. Often, you prefer to read a book than go to a party. Well, again, I don't read books, but I'm assuming it's more... Uh, I'm gonna do a small yes, because I'm assuming it just means that I prefer to entertain myself than go to a party, which, that's gonna be a yes. Now, if the party involves me getting gangbanged, gang raped, then that's gonna be a no. But, when a group of people you enjoy being directly involved... When with a group of people, you enjoy being directly involved and being at the center of attention. Depends. That definitely depends. If I'm at the center of attention sexually, then yes. I prefer being directly involved. But in any other situation... Okay, now, if I'm with a group of people and we're all doing something fun, if we're all going out to the zoo, for instance, if we're all going out to eat, I wouldn't say I like being the center of attention in those cases, but I do like to be involved. It really depends on what we're doing. I mean, there are some things when I don't want to be involved or be the center of attention. But you know, sometimes it's just enough to be there. You know. Jeez, that's a tough one. I'm gonna go with a small no because generally I don't like to be the center of attention unless it is, you know, unless it's, you know, an activity that I enjoy. You're more inclined to experiment than follow familiar approaches. More inclined to experiment than to follow familiar approaches. God, that really depends on what the situation is. Uh... Hmm. Holy shit, I have no idea. Let's see, I'm gonna go uncertain. You're strongly touched by the stories about people's troubles. Yes. Small yes or big yes? Uh, I would definitely say more than most people. Yes. Yeah, you know, sob stories really get to me, you know? If somebody's struggling, if somebody's having a hard time, God, I hate it. And I always wish there was something I could do. There's not always a lot I can do. In fact, more often than not, there's not a lot I can do. There's not a lot I know how to do. And it does take a bit of effort to push myself to actually do something about it, but it does affect me. Deadlines seem to you to be of relative rather than absolute importance. Deadlines. Deadlines. I'm gonna go with a small yes on this. You prefer to isolate yourself from outside noises. Yes. Yes, generally, I like to do what I do without distraction. And I'm very easily distracted. So, yeah, that's gonna be a big yes. For you, it is easier to gain knowledge through hands-on experience than from books or manuals. That's a yes. Um, when reading a manual or a book or, say, a walkthrough for a game, especially when it comes to walkthroughs for games, uh, I do, like, when it's difficult for me to follow a walkthrough for a game that I've never played before. Um, But sometimes I do that, like, whenever I follow a walkthrough for a game, I tend to get into the game first, try to get an idea of how it plays, first. That's not to say I never jump into a game with a walkthrough on the first time through, because it does happen. Oh, excuse me. I mean, when there's a game that I just don't understand how it's working, how it's supposed to be working, or if there's a game that I know I'm not going to get anywhere on unless I have some prior knowledge. I'm going to go with a small yes on that. You think that almost everything can be analyzed? Yes. Almost everything can be analyzed. Yes. For you, no surprises is better than surprises. No surprises better than surprises. No surprises better than surprises. Really depends. It really depends. God, it really depends. Day to day, when I'm just getting through my day, playing games, going through the motions, when I'm sort of in my routine, I don't generally like it to be interrupted. But on a larger scale, you can't, I would hate to go through life without surprises, period. I'm gonna go uncertain on that one. You take pleasure from putting things in order. I do not. Absolutely not. I'm very disorganized. I am the most unorganized person you'll ever meet, probably. I've got shit everywhere. My desk is full of shit. Whenever I need to put something somewhere, I just put it wherever. And when I organize things, it's only out of necessity. You feel at ease in a crowd. Whew, I do not. Fuck no. I mean, it does depend on the crowd, but generally, no. You have good control over your desires and temptations. I don't think I do. I'm going to go with a small no on that one. You easily understand new theoretical principles. Depends on what it is. It really depends on what it is. I'm going to go uncertain. You usually place yourself nearer to the side than in the center of the room. Yes, absolutely. I don't like to... when I'm in a store, when I'm out in public, one thing that stresses me out is the idea of being in someone's way. I tend to want to let people go where they're going to go, and if I'm hindering that, if I'm preventing that, if I'm hindering that in any way, it stresses me out. So I tend to position myself away from everybody else so I'm not getting in the way. When solving a problem, you would rather follow a familiar approach than seek a new one. Yes. There are some situations where the familiar approach just isn't good enough, and I would rather find another way to deal with it. But most of the time, yes. A thirst for adventure is something close to your heart. What kind of adventure? God, that word has such a broad meaning. Let me look up the definition. Maybe that'll help. Definition, adventure. Maybe the definition will help me, because I really don't... Jeez. An unusual and exciting, typically hazardous experience or activity. Engage in hazardous and exciting activity, especially the exploration of unknown territory. Oh, I'm more inclined to no on that one. I don't like hazard. Sexually, I'm a lot more adventurous. But everything else, let's say a small no. When considering a situation, you pay more attention to the current situation and less to a possible sequence of events. No. No, I do not. Big no or small no. Let's see. I see patterns. Like, I see, sometimes I don't see the specifics of the pattern, but I do see patterns in, sequences of events, like, when something has a like, cause and effect, you know? So, I'm gonna go with a big no on that one. When solving a problem, you consider the rational approach to be the best. Definitely yes. I mean, who wouldn't say yes to that? I know that in practice, not a lot of people approach it that way, but I mean, that just seems to be a fact to me. Just, you know, you gotta approach things rationally. You find it difficult to talk about your feelings. Yes. It is very difficult to talk about my feelings. Not for lack of trying, but yeah. Your decisions are based more on the feeling of a moment than on thorough planning. Well, it depends. It depends on... I want to say yeah... No? I want to say no. I never like to make snap decisions. I have a really hard time... I'm very indecisive, and that's probably why. I really like to think out all of my decisions, but I can't always do that. So no. Well, no, it's asking if they are based on a feeling or thorough planning. I like to plan things out. I prefer to plan things out, but in practice, are my decisions based on the feeling of the moment? That's really hard to figure out. It's probably going to be a no, but is it a big no or a small no? It's definitely going to be a no. And I'm going to go with a big no. You prefer to spend your leisure time alone or relaxing in a tranquil atmosphere? My leisure time, I'm gonna go with a small yes, because, I mean, there are certain people that I really want to spend time with on my leisure time. Like, I want to do something fun with people every now and then, yeah. I don't always get the chance, but, like, I think preferring to spend my time alone is more, I don't know, I think it's more based on, I think that's more based on, you know, my situation right now. Or maybe not. I'm just gonna go with a yes on that one. You feel more comfortable sticking to conventional ways. I do not. Uh, I am against the flow all the way. Way often, I believe the conventional ways are stupid. Monogamy is a great example of that. I do not agree with... It's not that I don't think that... It's not that I don't agree with... Let me think of the best way to explain this. When it comes to monogamy, I believe monogamy is too standardized. It's not that I don't believe two people can't enter into a happy monogamous relationship. I just think that more often than not, in fact, very much more often, that monogamy is sort of entered into, that people often force themselves to be monogamous because that's the way things are done. That's the conventional way. Yeah. That's just, you know, that's what happens on every single... I mean, especially on television, especially on series and shit. You know, a lot of stories are, a lot of the, a lot of stories, a lot of plots, a lot of subplots, more than regular main plots, but a lot of subplots are engaged in what I like to call the monogamy dance. You know, this person is dating this person, but this person wants to date that person, and then maybe eventually they'll break up, and you're kind of happy about that because it means that the other person can date that person, and blah, blah, blah. Just, I think monogamy is pervasive in our society. Not that it doesn't have a place in our society, I just think that, you know, people just tend to not think about it too much. They just enter into it because that's the way it's done, you know? Sexual exclusivity, absolutely disagree with that. I do not agree with sexual exclusivity in any way. I believe two people can be happy being engaged in a sexual relationship that primarily focuses on those two people and very rarely deviates outside of it. I believe that's possible, but I don't believe any one person can satisfy any other person's sexual needs completely. It's just impossible. So, I don't believe that sexual exclusivity is healthy. Let's see. You are easily affected by strong emotions. That's probably going to be a yes. Yeah, like I said, I tend to have meltdowns, and that just ruins my day. Like, my entire day is spent dealing with that. And often the next day is spent being drained by it. The next couple of days, I may be drained completely by the meltdown of the previous day. So yes, I'm gonna go with a small yes. I don't know. I might want to go with a big yes for that, but I'm not entirely certain, so I'm just gonna stick with a small yes. You're always looking for opportunities. Opportunities for what? God, that really needs to be more specific. Sexual opportunities, absolutely. Business opportunities, no. Let's see. I really don't know what that means. I'm gonna go uncertain. As a rule, current preoccupations worry you more than my future plans. That's probably gonna be a yes. Like I said that I like to plan things out. So I think I'm understanding this question a bit better, because I do like to plan things out. I like to know what I'm doing ahead of time before I do it. I like to make my decisions as far in advance as I can. With as much, I like to start making decisions uh, pretty quickly. I like to think about. Oh God, oh geez, need some water. Oh geez, getting a little lightheaded. Talking more than I'm breathing. Whew. Current preoccupations worry me more than future plans. That's gonna be a yes. Because I'm always worried, I'm always concerned about, you know, what's gonna happen in a few minutes, what's gonna happen today, what's gonna happen to me, what's gonna stress me out, and how am I gonna deal with it? When it comes to future plans, I'm always worried that something's gonna ruin it, and it's gonna be soon, so yes. That's probably gonna be a big yes, to be honest. It is easy for you to communicate in social situations. No, it is not. Fruit fly. Um, I really suck at communication. Period. You rarely deviate from your habits. I want to say yes on that. That's gonna be a big yes, actually. Um, you willingly involve yourself in matters which engage with your sympathies. Yeah, that's something I have to make a conscious decision not to do. Because, like, when I see a video that, you know, the title leads me to believe that it's talking about someone, there's an injustice somewhere. Someone has been wronged. Someone is getting the short end of the stick. Someone is getting a bad deal. Someone is getting screwed. You know, my inclination is to click that video. I have to make a conscious effort not to do that because it stresses me the fuck out. But, you know, but at the same time, when someone's speaking with me directly, depending on the moment, depending on how I'm feeling at that moment, like, there are times when I'm just burned out and I don't want to deal with it. So, like, you know, at those times, if I'm burned out on sympathy, if I'm burned out on, you know, giving a shit, and somebody comes to me with a problem, I don't want to deal with it. I'm just too burned out and I don't want to deal with it. I mean, especially if it's going to take time to deal with it, you know? Time out of my habits, in regards to the previous question. I'm going to do a small yes, because there are times when I'm burned out and I don't want to deal with it anymore. You easily perceive various ways in which events could develop. Yes. As I said before, I see patterns. If I see some people behaving in a certain way, I see where they're coming from, but I can also kind of see what it's gonna lead to. Like, a lot of things on Fur Affinity, for example. A lot of the decisions that Fur Affinity mods and Fur Affinity staff, a lot of the direction that they've been taking, you know, a lot of times, they do something, and my reaction is, this is not going to end well. This is not going to go well. Somebody's going to get screwed from this, and I'm usually right. Sometimes I don't know why I'm right. Sometimes I don't understand how those events are going to lead, how the cause is exactly going to lead to the effect, but I've seen it before. I've experienced it. I've seen it. I know it happens. I don't know why, but I know it happens. And, a lot of times I can, draw the line and figure out exactly what happened. But, yeah, I see patterns, and sometimes I wish I didn't, because it often leads me to believe that people are being stupid. That people are just not thinking clearly. That people are, like, they don't see what it's going to lead to. And it drives me insane. I mean, we have an economic depression right now. I knew it was coming. But I see people every day making decisions and having perceived values which, I know are going to lead to something bad, and it usually does. And then people see it later, but then they go and make the same mistakes again, and again, and again, and again. They're so easily manipulated, and it drives me insane. Good God. Okay, enough of that. Time to score me. Let's see. INTJ. You have strong preference of introversion over extroversion. That is entirely true. You have slight preference over intuition over sensing. I don't agree. I don't think I agree with that. But, well, I don't know. Maybe I don't fully understand what that means. You have slight preference over thinking over feeling. 9%? Ooh, I don't agree with that. I do not agree with that at all. I'm always thinking. I'm always thinking things through. The feeling just comes when it's just so pervasive that I can't get away from it. But, on a day when I'm of sound mind, I think. So, that's entirely not true. It is strong preference over thinking over feeling. I know that. You have slight preference of judging over perceiving. Again, I don't know what that means. I really don't know what that means. Let's see, let's read the full description on what this is on INTJ. To outsiders, INTJs may appear to project an aura of definiteness, of self-confidence. Do I? I'm not sure. I don't know how I appear to others in that regard. I'm not self-confident. I know that much. This self-confidence sometimes mistaken for simple arrogance by the less decisive is actually of a very specific rather than a general nature. Its source lies in the specialized knowledge systems that most people of this type start building at an early age. Huh? When it comes to their own areas of expertise, and INTJs can have several, they will be able to tell you almost immediately whether or not they can help you, and if so, how. Maybe? Maybe? INTJs know what they know, and perhaps, still more importantly, they know what they don't know. I think that's true. I think that's spot on. People of this type are perfectionists. I wouldn't say that. With a seemingly endless capacity for improving upon anything that takes their interest. Okay. If it takes my interest, yes. What prevents them from becoming chronologically bogged down in this pursuit of perfection is the pragmatism so characteristic of their type INTJs apply, often ruthlessly. The criterion doesn't work to everything from their own research efforts to prevailing social norms. This in turn produces an unusual independence of mind, freeing them from the constraints of authority, convention, or sentiment for its own sake. Okay, yes, I do have, I don't know about the, pragmatism bit. I don't know about the, pragmatism bit. That might be true, I don't know, but it is certainly true that I have an inherent distrust of authority, and convention. Sentiment for its own sake, I don't know about that one, though. Yes. Just sentiment for its own sake. Like, for example, let's see, if I'm... Yeah, I overthink everything. Like, if somebody asks me, how am I doing? My mind is going 100 miles an hour. What do I say? What's accurate? Am I being truthful? Am I being honest? Like, I don't just say, good. I don't generally ask how someone's day is going, you know? Like, there are times when I'm compelled to ask that, but then again, I overthink it. Do I really want to know? Like, if there's a problem, can I handle it? Can I take my time to, talk it out with them? You know, how am I feeling in this moment? So, yeah, okay, that's not entirely what I meant to say. Yeah, that's one of those issues. That's one of those. I've just entered into one of those situations where I'm trying to say what I'm thinking and it's not working, because that's definitely not what I was thinking. Okay, INTJs are known as the systems builders of the types, perhaps in part because they possess the unusual trait combination of imagination and reliability. Systems builders? Not sure what that means. Whatever system this type happens to be working on, for them, is the equivalent of a moral cause to an INFJ. Both perfectionism and disregard for authority may come into play, as INTJs can be unsparing of both themselves and others on the project. Again, God, that's so confusing. I don't know what that means. Anyone considered to be slacking including superiors, will lose their respect. I wouldn't say that. No. No, I don't think so, no. They wouldn't... Nobody's gonna lose my respect for slacking. Come on. And will generally be made aware of this. I suppose it depends on the situation. Like, if there's something, like, if I know what someone is trying to achieve, and I agree with what they're trying to achieve, and I am, what am I saying? If we both agree that something needs to be done, and I see that they're not moving to do it, I wouldn't say they'd lose my respect, but I might make them aware of it. INTJs have also been known to take it upon themselves to implement critical decisions without consulting their supervisors or coworkers. Yes. Critical decisions. Wait, critical decisions, what does that mean? Does that mean important decisions? Because important decisions I definitely need some help on. But when it comes to critical, as in critical thinking? On the other hand, they do tend to be scrupulous and even-handed about recognizing the individual contributions that have gone into a project, and have a gift for seizing opportunities which others might not even notice. Might need some help figuring that one out. In the broadest terms, what INTJs do tends to be what they know. I think that's true. Typical INTJ career choices are in the sciences and engineering, but they can be found where they're a combination of intellect and incisiveness? What is incisiveness? I need to look that up. Fuck, I need to look that up. Where was I? Required. E.g. law, some areas of academia. The adjective incisive describes something that is sharp, decisive, and direct. A comment that cuts right to the bone can be just as incisive as an actual knife. That doesn't, I don't know what that means. I'm even more confused than I was before. People of this type can rise to management positions when they are willing to invest time and marketing their abilities, as well as enhancing them, and management. Nope, I never made it to management, and I don't think I ever will. And whether the sake of ambition or desire for privacy. Many also find it useful to learn to simulate some degree of surface conformism in order to mask their inherent unconventionality. I think I do that sometimes, but I've been trying to check that. I've been trying to not do that as often, because I don't like pretending to conform when I'm not. You know? Because, you know, and when somebody says, you know, that I'm a type, then that they like how I do this because you know, because I'm, when somebody compliments me on being conventional, in some way. I tend to want to say, don't compliment me on that. That's not true. I don't conform, and I don't like to put forth the illusion of conforming. Before I found the fandom, and before I got into certain kinks that are rather controversial among the mainstream, then I might have once before put forth the illusion of conforming. But today, no, I don't think it's worth it. It's just not worth it. I want people to see me for who I am. I want to be, when somebody compliments me, when somebody likes me, when somebody enjoys my company, when somebody loves me, I want it to be for who I am, not who they think I am, not who they expect me to be, you know? I'm not gonna put on a suit and tie. I'm the kind of person who's not gonna put on a suit and tie to go to a job interview. I want people to see the raw me, and that has cost me jobs before, to be honest. But, I don't generally like putting on a mask. You know, I like literally putting on a mask. I like my fursuit, but, you know, when it comes to conforming, no. Putting forth the illusion of conforming. Personal relationships, particularly romantic ones, can be the INTJ's Achilles heel. Abso-fucking-lutely. While they are capable of caring deeply for others, usually a select few, no, I generally do care about people on a larger scale, of course, and that I think, I hate to say that that's unique, but kinda is, and are willing to spend a great deal of time and effort on a relationship. The knowledge and self-confidence that makes them successful in other areas can suddenly abandon or mislead them in interpersonal situations. Is that an accurate description of what happens? I'm not sure. But yes, I struggle with interpersonal relationships. That's definitely do. This happens in part because of many INTJs do not readily grasp the social rituals. For instance, they tend to have little patience and less understanding of such things as small talk and flirtation. I think that's true. Flirtation? I kinda like it when people flirt with me, and I kinda like to flirt with others. But small talk? No, I kinda suck at small talk. Which most types consider half the fun of a relationship. I typically I don't like flirtation when it's not leading somewhere. I like flirtation when... I don't like flirtation for the sake of flirtation. I like flirtation for the sake of let's get to bed and let's start fucking. that's when I like flirtation. I like flirtation when it's going somewhere. When we're gonna fuck. And we know it. To complicate matters, people of this type are usually extremely private, and can often be naturally impassive as well, which makes them easy to misread and misunderstand. Absolutely. Absolutely. People misunderstand me all the time, which is why I feel the need to explain my feelings, and fail at it. Perhaps the most fundamental problem, however, is that INTJs really want people to make sense. Yes. Absolutely. This sometimes results in a peculiar naivete, paralleling that of many Fs. Only instead of expecting inexhaustible affection and empathy from a romantic relationship, the INTJ will expect inexhaustible reasonability and directness. Yes, absolutely. I want people to be direct with me. I want people to be reasonable. Affection and empathy. I mean, I want people to empathize with me. I want people to show affection to me, yes. But I don't think it's more important than being reasonable and direct. Yes, I think that is absolutely true. Probably the strongest INTJ assets in the interpersonal area are their intuitive abilities and their willingness to work at a relationship. Intuitive abilities, perhaps. Willingness to work at a relationship. Willingness, yes, but in practice, I don't know if I'm actually successful in working at a relationship. Although, as T's, they do not always have the kind of natural empathy that many F's do? Huh? Didn't it just say... The intuitive function can often act as a good substitute by synthesizing... Oh, I think I know what it means. I think I know what it means. When it comes to understanding somebody's problems, that I might be a bit more intuitive than empathetic in some cases. Maybe? I'm not sure. Can act as a good substitute by synthesizing the portable meanings behind such things as tone of voice, turn of phrase, and facial expression? I'm not sure what that means. This ability can then be honed and directed by consistent, repeated efforts to understand and support those they care about. Okay. And those relationships which ultimately do become established with an INTJ tend to be characterized by their robustness, stability, and good communications. I guess what it's saying is once I get to know somebody, once we get to know each other, once we start to understand each other, once we are more comfortable with each other, then communication comes a little bit more easily? Is that what it's saying? I guess. Okay, functional. Let me just move on. I want to move on. Let's go to. Hang on. Where's the part where I get to see the fictional characters that are also characterized as INTJs? Let's see. Jeez. Where is it? Where the hell is it? Let's see. Maybe if I move on to career choices, learning style, communication skills, here we go. Famous INTJs. Who do we got here? Let's see. I'm really terrible with names, so I'm not going to recognize any of these people. Let's see. Lance Armstrong. Interesting. I don't know anything about Lance Armstrong, though. Let's see. I don't know any of these names. The guy who wrote the Chronicles of Narnia? Huh. Interesting. Let's see. Michelle Obama. Hillary Clinton. Ew. Ew. Ew, 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 ew. No. No, 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 no. Ew. I do not. Ew. Wait a minute. No, hold on a minute. No, 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 no. I do not agree with this at all. I do not view Hillary Clinton as an unconventional type. I do not view Hillary Clinton as a nonconformist. I do not view Hillary Clinton as a um, as a no. I do not agree with that. Good fucking shit, no. I do not believe I'm anything like Hillary Clinton at all. Jeez. Oh my gosh. Especially when it comes to the empathy department. Holy shit, does she have zero empathy. Damn. Especially on a larger scale. I don't know. Well, maybe I'm reading too much. Maybe I'm assuming too much. Maybe on a smaller scale. Maybe in her personal life she's a bit more empathetic. But on a large scale, definitely not empathetic. Oof, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Interesting. U.S. presidents. Thomas Jefferson. Interesting. John F. Kennedy. Also interesting. Woodrow Wilson. Also interesting. Huh. Interesting company. Fictional. Okay, here we go. Fictional. Cassius from Julius Caesar. I'm not familiar with that. Pride and Prejudice. Middle-earth books. Gandalf. Gandalf? Holy shit, I'm a Gandalf bunny! I am Mist Bunny the Gray. Or Mist Bunny the Blue. Holy shit! I am Wizard Bunny. Fuck yeah. That is going to be my class from now on. My class is going to be the mage. I am a mage. Red mage, perhaps. Hannibal Lecter? Hannibal Lecter! Moving on. Moriarty. Professor Sherlock Holmes' nemesis. Don't know what I don't know much about that. Let's see. Ensign Rowe of Star Trek. I haven't watched any of Next Generation, so I don't know who that is. Someone from Hamlet. I Spy, Silence of the Lambs. Again. Game of Thrones? What is this? INTJs. Okay, who are the INTJs? Let me make this easier. Varys. Oh my gosh. Varys? Wait, what are the other ones? Okay, yeah. Varys, Tywin Lannister. Oh my god, no. And Peter Baelish. Holy shit. I don't know, maybe that is rather a wide range of personalities. Or maybe a wide range of goals. Maybe that's what it is. Wide range of goals here. Interesting. So Gandalf and Varys. Nice. Also, I would say something about how it ended for all three of them, but I don't want to spoil it. Okay, well that is the Mist Bunny personality test. I don't know how accurate it is. There are certainly some things in there that I don't agree with. But there you have it. So, holy shit, how long did that take? That took an hour and a half? Oh my god! Holy shit, I was not expecting it to take that long. I am so sorry. I am so sorry to make you sit through all that. I am so sorry. I might... Oh, gosh. Oh, my gosh. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and end it here. I'm off to do bunny things. Bye for now.